I remembered me every single day asking the universe for $100,000 or more to show up so fast it would make me laugh. And there I was sitting, looking at my bank account, seeing the manifestation in the flesh in my bank account, and watching it as it's in my physical reality. Hi everyone, I am Valerie. I am a manifestation coach and wealth expert. And today we are going to talk about my craziest manifestation story to date. How I manifested $125,000 in less than 3 months. After I tell you the story, I'm going to share with you the 7 leading principles that allow me to manifest this amount of money in such a short amount of time. So, are you ready? Before we get started, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to follow for more. Okay, so here's how it all began. It all began when I was starting on my manifestation journey and I wanted to find out the best ways to manifest. I had never really manifested that much before in my life. It was more unconscious manifestation. So I wanted to become more conscious about my manifestations. So in order to do that, I built what I call my manifestation toolkit, meaning my toolkit full of tools of manifestation techniques. And one of those manifestation techniques is Christy Marie Sheldon's What Would It Take technique. After I saw the video of her online explaining this technique, I knew I had to try it too. So I asked the universe, dear universe, what would it take for me to make $100,000 in the shortest amount of possible, in such a short amount of time that it literally makes me laugh. And I would repeat this phrase over and over and over again, both out loud and in my head, to really signal to the universe, okay, universe, what would it take? So that the universe can align its path and show me my manifestation. So it was funny because I repeated it so many times that it's got ingrained in my subconscious mind, and then I kind of forgot about it. And so once I kind of forgot about it, I just went on with my life. And one day, at the time I was working as an active real estate agent and real estate investor, but one day I woke up and I had this real feeling that I had to take the day off that day. So I canceled all of my appointments, I erased everything off of my schedule, and I just sat down on the sofa and wrote in my journal because that's what I felt pulled to do on that day. And so I listened to my intuition, I listened to my gut instinct. And so I was writing and writing and writing and writing, and I was writing from my soul, and I couldn't stop writing. And I was sitting there for probably hours, just writing in my journal, reflecting on life. And once I was finally done and I wrote my last word, I put my journal down and I kind of let it soak in. And then I had this instinct to put the trash by the curb. So I just followed my instinct and I put the trash bin by the curb. And guess what happened that moment that I put the trash bin by the curb? The moment I did so, I looked over to the right-hand side, and the property next to me, for as long as I'd been living in this house, this property has been sitting vacant. And all of the neighbors were complaining that this house was so dilapidated, nobody was looking after it. There were multiple tax liens on the home, I found out from the neighbors. And so this property was in the worst condition you could possibly imagine. But me, as a real estate investor and real estate agent, those are always the properties that I have an eye for. So when I saw somebody pulling up into the driveway of the property, I immediately walked over and I introduced myself. And funny enough, immediately I asked, have you ever considered selling this property? And it came out of nowhere. And the gentleman said, funny enough, we just received an offer in our inbox to actually purchase this property. And he literally pulled up the offer and they were about to sign it. He was just coming over to take a look at the property one more time before they could hand it off and sell it. And on the spot, I made the decision to offer, I don't remember if it was $10,000 or $15,000 above what they were offering. I said, look, I will offer you this much higher. I will make a cash offer with a quick closing. Mind you, I did not have the cash to buy that property. I had just bought another investment property. I did not have the money remaining to actually invest this type of cash. And Second of all, I made such an impulsive, instinctual decision that I didn't even think about it logically before actually making the decision. I just jumped on it. I trust my intuition and I just went for it. And funny enough, it took us a couple of days, but eventually my offer got accepted. And it was so beautiful the way that the universe aligned everything for me, because investors started to come into the picture and people started to come into the picture to assist me in actually closing this deal. So once I finally closed on the property and it was mine, I did indeed find that there were multiple code enforcement liens on the property that I was easily able to relinquish and take care of. But then my strategy with real estate is never one to quickly sell something and make a quick profit. My goal with real estate has always been long-term. So I never intended on selling that property until one weekend. I came home on a Monday from spending the weekend with my boyfriend, and on that Monday, I glanced over to the property and noticed that there were people walking into the home through the front door. And mind you, this was a vacant property. We did not have water connected. We did not have electricity connected, nothing connected. Yet, I clearly saw people walking into the home. And then I thought, am I making this up? So I walked over there and I tried to open the front door, but it wouldn't open. I knocked on the front door, nobody answered. So I decided to go around the property and the side door was left open. As I'm opening the side door, I see a clear vision of 3 grown men having moved into my home, having moved in all of their furniture and made this home their own. I quickly realized what type of situation that I found myself in, and I started running as fast as I could. Now, I kept running and running until I found a trash can to hide behind, because one of these guys was chasing after me. So I'm behind a trash can, and the only thing I can think of is calling 911. So I call 911, and within 2 minutes, like 9 cop cars show up. And these cops come and they rescue me from behind a trash can. And thank goodness the men had all escaped. They had gotten in their car and left. But these were squatters that over the weekend had moved into my home. And funny enough, this went through this whole ordeal with the cops, but basically they found out one of the guys that had made a fake lease agreement, that had made a fake deposit that stated that he was a tenant in my home and that I was the landlord, which obviously I was not. But thank goodness when the police pulled up their records, they saw that they're an organized crime group that is known for doing this. And thank goodness they didn't make me go through the long 3-month plus eviction process, which is very timely and costly. They allowed them to just immediately vacate the premises that day. But one of the cops came back to me and he says, Valerie, you need to pack your bags and leave for a couple of weeks, because this is an organized crime group. They know where you live. They know you live next door, and we don't want anything bad to happen to you. They are not good guys. And I got scared so much that I immediately packed my bags. I moved into my boyfriend's home for a couple of weeks, and I decided I'm selling this house. I am not dealing with this. I am selling this house. I want to be done with it. So funny enough, I then listed the home. The moment I listed the home, I kind of pulled comps and see how much it would be worth without the code enforcement liens and with a little bit of the curb appeal fixed up. And I got scared. I saw the amount of money that I can make on this home, and I decided to not move forward with putting that type of a list price on this home. I decided to list it below what it was worth. And when I had a conversation with my boyfriend that night and he asked me, what are you going to list a house for? His jaw dropped to the floor. He could not believe that I would list it for so low. And when he asked me, he said, honey, why would you list it so low? That doesn't make any sense. You could get at least $50,000 over what you want to ask for. And here's what I replied. I replied, honey, I feel guilty for making that type of money in such a short amount of time. I mean, I haven't even owned the home for over a month. And now all of a sudden I'm gonna make so much money. I feel guilty. And that's what leads me to the next principle, is your wealth worthiness. Your wealth worthiness. How worthy do you feel of receiving wealth without having to work for it, without having to struggle for it, without having to hustle for it, without having a lot of time elapse for you to receive it? You see, a lot of us feel that we have to earn money. We have to work hard to make money. Money is earned. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't just come to you. Money just doesn't fall into your lap. Money doesn't fall from the sky. Yet that principle can be true if you want it to be. So you have to shift your money worthiness. You have to understand that yes, you are worthy of abundance. This universe is infinitely abundant and you can draw that abundance to you. You don't have to block it and stop it because you feel you are not worthy of it. You don't feel like you deserved it. You don't feel like you worked hard for it. So that conversation shifted everything for me in regards to manifesting wealth, because it made me realize my limiting beliefs. It made me realize that I had been placing a ceiling, a box over me that has kept me limited, that had kept me small. And I was able to shatter that and break through that. And so I listed the property for $50,000 more. Once I listed it, it got multiple offers and we ended up exactly getting our list price. And funny enough, when I got that money from the closing in my account and I saw that I just had made $125,000 in less than 3 months, I was shocked. I had never seen that type of manifestation show up so quickly. And what shocked me the most is that I had remembered what I had asked the universe. I remembered me every single day asking the universe for $100,000 or more to show up so fast it would make me laugh. And there I was sitting, looking at my bank account, seeing the manifestation in the flesh in my bank account and watching it as it's in my physical reality. And that's what shifted everything for me in regards to manifestation. I realized it is possible. And you can shoot for the stars or you can start small, it doesn't matter, but it's the same principles applied. So that's the beautiful thing about manifestation. That's the beautiful thing about my story. And that's why I hope that you can take these simple principles and start applying them to your life. Okay, now that we delved into the story, let's dive into the 7 principles that led me to make $125,000 in less than 3 months. Principle number 1 is to build a manifestation toolkit. It's important that when you're starting off on your manifestation journey or you're trying to take it further, that you build a manifestation toolkit from which you can pull different tools in different instances and circumstances. I use the what would it take technique from Christy Marie Sheldon, but there's so many different tools that I can pull from in order to manifest. So my advice to you is build your manifestation toolkit, bring different tools into your reality so that you can utilize them at the appropriate time. See what works for you and see what doesn't. Then it brings us to principle number 2. Get crystal clear. Get crystal clear on what you wish to manifest. Be specific. Tell the universe what you wish to manifest by when you wish to manifest it. Okay, sometimes I like to ask the universe, hey, as quickly as possible, because that allows the universe a little bit more playroom. But you can also set a specific date. You can say, hey, by the end of this year or within the next 3 months. So be specific with the universe. Tell them exactly how much you want to make or more. You can always add or more. I wish to manifest $100,000 or more by a specific date or within a certain amount of time. So get clear and be specific. That leads us to principle number 3, stating it is done. So the beautiful part about my what would it take statements, as I kept repeating them and repeating them and repeating them, all of a sudden I was like, okay, that's it. It is done, it is done, it is done. or you can also say, and so it is. It's kind of like when you're typing up an email and then you hit the send button and the email launches into space, and you know that the universe is taking care of whatever your request was in that email. That's what this manifestation tool does. It's like sending an email of a request that you have to the universe and then sending it off and knowing that it is being taken care of. So the last thing you want to do is every day like repeat it over because you think it's not working, or you start worrying about it over and over and over again. And that worry or that obsessing creates more distance between you and your manifestation. And that's when people see a lag time, or they don't see it showing up right away, or they don't see it showing up at all. So make sure that you always know that it is done. Your order has been placed within the universe, the email has been sent, and now you just have to wait. And that brings us to principle number 4, which is struggle less and surrender more. This is a quote that my yoga teacher taught me back in college, and it's such a beautiful quote. Struggle less, surrender more. And that's what we need to do. Once we have put our manifestation out into the universe, then we just let it go and we just allow our life to take place. We allow the universe to work its magic. We just flow with life. And when opportunities come up, we surrender to those opportunities. We allow those opportunities. For example, there were so many times where I could have blocked this manifestation from actually taking place. I could have gone to work that day. I could have not canceled all my appointments. I could have not taken the trash out on some random moment in the middle of the day. I could have waited until that night. I could have not made the offer because I knew I didn't have that amount of money to make that type of offer. So there's so many places where I could have self-sabotaged myself, but I didn't. Because every single day I remind myself to struggle less and surrender more. And that's when the universe can allow the manifestation to manifest into your reality. It allows the universe to work its magic for you. You just have to get out of the way. You just have to release and surrender control. And that brings us to principle number 5, which is to say yes. It is so important to say yes to opportunities, to say yes to things coming on your path and knowing that this is a sign from the universe and to go for it. It's also important to say yes to feeling abundant, to being abundant, to be in a state of a bliss, to be in a high frequency. And so saying yes to yourself, to your happiness, to your joy, to your manifestations, knowing it already is done, that is such an important frequency to be in when you're wanting to manifest. Principle number 6. This is probably the most important principle that I learned throughout this entire journey, is my wealth worthiness. You see, we all feel like we're worthy of a certain amount, and anything beyond that amount feels uncomfortable. And that's why, sometimes we keep making the same amount of money every year, or we keep having the same amount of money in our bank account, and it just feels comfortable almost. Anything beyond that feels a stretch, it feels uncomfortable. And especially making a ton of money in a short amount of time, that feels different. So we have to adjust our wealth worthiness. Do we feel worthy of making more? Do we feel worthy of expanding our financial opportunities? Do we feel worthy of making a ton of money in a really short amount of time? We have to ask ourselves if we feel worthy of our manifestation, and if we feel worthy for it showing up in our lives in the most unexpected, blissful way. So I'd like to throw that out there as a beautiful reminder to feel worthy of the abundance that the universe is looking to flow into your life. And that brings us to the last principle, principle number 7. Reset your money beliefs. It is so important to look at your money beliefs. What do you believe is true about money? Do you believe money is hard to come by? Do you believe you have to work hard to make money? Do you believe that money is earned? That was a big one for me. Do you believe you have to work 70 hours a week hustling to make money? Or do you feel like those beliefs are limiting you? Do you feel like it is time to update and upgrade your belief system around wealth, around abundance, around money? So I would advise you to take out a journal and write down everything that you believe to be true at this exact moment in time about money. What do you believe is true? What do you believe are your limits? What feels uncomfortable? What have your parents told you about money? So look back even in your childhood and see how you have been programmed since you were a little girl or a little boy, and write it all down. And the beautiful part about these limiting beliefs is that you choose to believe that belief, but you also can choose to believe a different belief. And that's why on another page in your journal, I want you to write down all the new beliefs that you're going to believe about money from now on. You can believe that money is easy. Making millions is easy. I have fun manifesting money. I get paid just to be me. I'm a masterful manifester. It is easy for me to draw in wealth and abundance into my life. My wealth is compounding. So you can write all the things down that now are your new belief system that you choose to believe. And every single time throughout the day, throughout the course of the week, the month, the year, when you catch yourself thinking a limiting belief, you immediately stop yourself and you choose a different thought. You choose a new belief. If you're in the grocery store and you pick a jar of honey, and a jar of honey is $13, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't afford a $13 jar of honey. That's not true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can say, I can easily afford this jar of honey, but I choose not to buy it at this time. Or you can actually choose to buy it to prove yourself that, yes, I can buy that $13 jar of honey. So start getting conscious about your thoughts and your beliefs and modify them, because they are malleable. They are not set in stone. They are not carved in stone. You have the ability to change your thoughts and your beliefs. So I hope that these 7 principles were helpful. I hope that my story helped to inspire you. And I hope that after you watch this video, you take massive actions and write a manifestation goal that you want to accomplish and change those limiting beliefs and really align yourself to your worth, because you are worthy of wealth. You are worthy of being an abundant, wealthy being in every area of your life. All your dreams are possible, so go and make them happen. I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching.